Hey everybody, welcome to the Bourbon Battalion. Bobby here, and happy Hump Day. So hopefully you've had a good week. Hopefully things are going good. We're halfway through. I've had a pretty good week. Can't complain. Gonna get into this Texas shootout. So stage 3 of the Texas shootout tonight is Garrison brothers. Yeah, did you like that, Daniel? Hopefully I did that right. I think I did. It's always a learning process for me, right? So, but yeah, so Garrison brothers. Oh yeah, you missed a hangout, right? That sucked, but we'll have plenty of them, man. We'll have plenty of hangouts. So the Garrison brothers, right? I haven't had it either. So what I have tonight is a Garrison brothers Texas straight bourbon whiskey. I have a small batch. I have a single barrel. And I have the Garrison brothers barrel proof single barrel pick BSB Texas at 122.5 proof. So the other two are both 94s. So I decided I don't really want to tinker around too much with trying to figure out the proof. I'm just more interested in why is Texas whiskey very, very good? And is it common to all Texas whiskey, or is it just because I've had unicorn barrels and unicorn picks and stuff that's been given to me? So this is actually a Garrison Brothers that I have had on my bar for a very long time that I never opened, and I don't know why. Maybe because it got pushed to the back. The one I have is a corn variety, is the #1 Panhandle White. Corn harvest was 2011 from the Dallam County Farms. It was distilled and barreled in 2012. Barrel 3448, bottle 8 of 49, aged 3 years in oak. So that's how long it's been sitting on my bar. I didn't even think about it until we started doing this Texas shootout, and I'm like, man, I really like Texas whiskey. I just love it. And so I just want to see if it holds up to the Iron Root and the Balcones, right? So let's see who else in here. Mr. Whiskey Shits. What's up, Adam? Glad you could jump in. Marty, cheers, brother. Hope to hook up with you guys on Patreon feeds and some backroom chats and stuff. I definitely have a little bit more time to do a little bit more of that stuff. And so it's kind of like the new job is getting underway. I'm starting to feel really good with it. So, but yeah, it's such an interesting thing going through and trying new stuff and you've never had. You don't really know much about it. And it just makes it incredibly interesting to me that you can still pick out all these crazy notes and pick out all this stuff, and you don't know if it's right or not, but it's right to you. And you end up finding that, man, there's really good stuff out there. So hopefully you have an opportunity to sip on something. I know with it being 7:30 here, some people are just getting off work or they're still at work. I know out west it's only 4:30. So, but hey, we got a ways to go. I'm going to go through the Garrison brothers. Now, unfortunately, I was going to do the finals tonight and just find out who was my top 3. But in a moment of splendor, the gunny came down and he wanted to try the Iron Root and Balcones stuff that we had, and we ended up drinking it all. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do one against the other? What's up, Mr. Sir Shane Long? The beautiful one. Hanging out, getting ready to shoot out some Texas whiskey and see where Garrison Brothers ranks in all this. So I'm kind of excited about it. I don't know if maybe I bought it, back when I was really, just really into bourbon, and I don't know if someone said something about it or whatever, and I don't know, somehow it just got floated to the back of the shelf. So one of these is a sample. The other 2 are bottles I have. So I'll give it a second before I start diving into it. So I will say this, right? Next week, I will start the Battalion Hump Bookers. And each week, I'm anticipating it taking me at least 3 weeks. I would say it's pretty safe to say it's going to be 3. Those are the only ones I have, Daniel. The ones I meant. Actually, I only have the Garrison Brothers single barrel and the Garrison Brothers small batch. Both of them are 94 proof. The other one that I have is just a sample. So it makes me want to get some barrel proof stuff, right? I'm excited to try the barrel proof sample I have, but I don't have any barrel proof here. So an interesting thing is going to happen. So I'm going to do during my Booker's hump, right? The Battalion hump. We're going to go through all of the Bookers I have, and I have decided I am going to include my little books. So that's going to make it a little long, but I think I can go through and I'm going to try to do it in 3 weeks. If not, it'll take 4 just to do the finality and get the final rankings. But in each week that I have it during the show, for every $5, and Mod, you're going to have to help me out on this. It's going to be a process. For every $5 that comes in, your name will get added sequentially over the weeks, and each week we will draw one person. That one person will be the same as the other weeks, so you really have a chance of doing this each week, right? So every week, the winners, there will be 4 winners because I'm going to have 4 episodes. So there'll be 4 episodes, 1 winner each episode. We'll get a sample of every one of them. Every single Bookers I have, I will send a sample of the entire lineup of everything I have. Now, having said this, the money that comes in for this is 100% being donated to a cause of my choosing. I will let that be known what it goes to. It will not be going to me. 100% of it will be donated. There's some really good causes out there. There's some people going through some hard times. And I know people know I have a lot of Bookers. so just food for thought starting next week. We'll go through. I anticipate that year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's probably going to be about 14 samples. So I have 14 bottles. If the Gunny contributes, it could go up. I have to see if the Gunny has things I don't have. But it will be one heck of a sample pack. I can tell you that for sure. So, and then maybe, I'll throw in some extra stuff. So just look out for that. That's in the coming weeks. I just know that there's some people I want to help. There's some people that are going through harder times than I am. And I'm really fortunate right now. So anything I do over that Battalion Hump Bookers series, and I'll say it each time, it can either go into the PayPal or Venmo. It'll probably be, I guess it really doesn't matter which one. I can easily find both of them. And what I'll do is I'll get with a couple mods and give them the information so they know everything that's going on. Yeah, there's a lot of Bookers in that. So it'd be fun because there's some Bookers in there that's, I'm not going to say it's like really old, but older, probably there's some back here, I'm guessing, I don't know, a few years. I'll have to look. I'll put the lineup before I do it of all the Bookers I have that I'm going to be using this. Probably when I start getting everything ready, I will break it down in segments, but what I'll do is like stage 1 and I'll say which ones there are 2, 3, 4 and go on. But I'll put a list of each one of them as we go. That way, if someone wants to taste long or whatever, you can. So I'll have it broke down. You'll see it really good. But yeah, I will. That gives me 4 samples of each. And yeah, I'm good with that because I know some people can use it. So all right, we're in a little bit. So I'm going to start with this Garrison Brothers blind. I'll just start with my A, B, and C, and we'll just work our way through. So this is my A. You know, I'll tell you the thing that is always so surprising to me is they get such amazing color. I mean, just beautiful color out of not a lot of aging. Now, because I've talked to people, I understand that, you know, a lot of that has to do with the heat and the barrels and stuff like that. But man, the color on everything I've ever had so far, Texas, has been great. What's up, Richie Z? Good you could jump in, brother. So eyes look great. Viscosity is just going to take a little bit to see it drip down, but while I'm doing that, I'm going to nose it. Man, I'm telling you what, Texas stuff smells so much different. It just doesn't even smell in the same category. I mean, you definitely get a bourbon sweet note, right? But you always get this, it's like a burnt toast. And I like it. Like this one's more of like if I had some cinnamon toast that I over toasted. I toasted it too long. And but yeah, definitely. I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, it's a bourbon. You definitely get your normal corn notes that you would say, hey, listen, this is definitely a corn. You can't mistake that part. But man, that weird burnt toast. It's been described to me as before as like there's black tea notes and stuff like that. But there's definitely tea notes for sure. But it's just the smell is always so interesting. So I'm going to put some notes down here that I do smell tea. I don't know that I can identify which tea. I'm not a tea guy, even though my wife has a tea society. Heads up, I am 99% sure now Mrs. Battalion is going to eventually get on the stream. That will be not only amazing, but hilarious. My wife just started drinking sweet stuff like 3 years ago. So before that, she never drank. Yeah, there's a black tea, maybe like a burnt cinnamon toast. Now, even though I already know the proofs, I know that of the 3 proofs that are in here, 2 of them are 94s, one of them is a little bit higher. This is definitely not the high proof. I can tell that for sure. Yeah, but it smells good. It smells real good. Definitely corn. I noticed corn first, corn forward for sure. I still get, I should, I have to go back and look at the mash bill, but this is definitely rye. It'd be interesting to see what the percentage of rye is. I'll double check what I think the rye is on the taste. So yeah, so far, yeah, Mrs. Battalion. Good Lord. You have no idea. You ever seen like one of those like really cutesy, super, super smart blondes that they're really smart, but barely a lick of common sense? Yeah, that's my wife. And that's what made me fall in love with her. I mean, realistically, I could tell you stories, but I probably shouldn't because they're so funny. Yeah, you know what? This smells really familiar with a twist. So let's go to the palate. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for jumping in. Man, that is so... If you find that your palate is advancing, I'm telling you what, and you're not jumping into the Texas whiskey, man, are you missing out. I'm so happy that I've done this. My eyes have been completely open to, I still love bourbon. I mean, completely love bourbon. I love rye and all that stuff, but man, This is such a good female version of the Shaggy Professor. Yeah, kind of. No, she's super funny. She's it'll be one of those things that I have to go into it really slow, right? We'll have to do like on the rocks or mixed it with a Dr. Pepper or some kind of like highballs or some kind of, we'll have to mix it up. You can't just take her straight in there. No way. Her nose is so good. I can literally crack a bourbon and she can come downstairs. She's like, "Are you having another bourbon?" I was like, "Oh, of course I am." Duh. She's like, "I can smell that sucking you open." Now, she doesn't say it snotty like that. That's just the way I interpret it, because why would you question me? Boy, this is opening up though. So on the palate, it's really, really nice. It comes in really sweet, but then it opens up to a really, there's definitely barrel. Definitely barrel. You definitely get a bunch of barrel. You get this really nice, uh, like a molasses, not a sweet molasses at all. What's up, Double Dog? Hoorah. Leatherneck Shock Trooper. My brother originally wanted me to open everything with calling the battalion to attention. And I said, listen, there's going to be people who can't take that. So I just never have. Man, it tastes like there's like coffee notes. It's really sweet. So think of like if you had I wouldn't say a super sweet, like just a moderately sweet iced black coffee, or that was in the refrigerator, not ice, because it's not watered down at all. A cold, semi-sweet black coffee. I definitely get a coffee presence on the palate. And it's a great mouthfeel. I mean, great mouth bomb. Everything about it's good. Not a big proof point. I'm not getting. So I know that this is obviously one of the 94s, but it's smooth. It's nice. I really like it. What's up, Jeffrey Wack? Yeah, it's really enjoyable. So I'm interested to see what this one is. I'm going to put it away so I can go to the next one. So that's pretty good. I'm going to give it a decent rating. So I'm going to say right now, I'd give that a 6 out of 10. It definitely is not anywhere close to the Iron Root and Balcones ones I had, but I also had unicorns. Number 2. And someone might say, well, you have them in glasses that are made marked and all that stuff. Yeah, well, I didn't pour them or mix them up, so I don't even know. I had the Mrs. Battalion do that. Whew, man. That smells so much sweeter. So much sweeter than the other one. I bet I know what that one is. Only because I have a hunch. Does anybody else ever usually run into an idea that, like, if you have, let's say I have a bottle of X, and then I get a single barrel of it. To me, the single barrel always seems like it's sweeter smelling on the nose. Just always. It always seems like it is just a sweeter nose. There's something about it that's like it ups its game. But it's definitely sweeter on the nose. This one, it's a little bit different though. I get more of like a honey graham cracker. And I wouldn't say that I got that on the other one. Yeah, really sweet. Maybe a slight, very, very slight floral note. I wouldn't say that it's heavy distinct, but really sweet. Definitely a sweet floral note. Yeah, definitely a sweeter note. So letter B, let's go to the palate. Oh yeah, that's really nice. It's really nice because it's complex, right? So the thing that I'm really starting to dig in my palate is wanting something to be like, there's so many things going on here, I have to think. You actually have a bottle of Booker's 2015 Center Cut. That's kind of a unicorn now. You know, Richie, I don't know. I'll have to look. I haven't been underneath the bar to look at the Bookers in a long time to actually know what all I have. I know some of them I've had for a long time. Some of them are newer. I know I have all of last year's. I have a bunch of the years before that. I have some going back a few years. I just don't know off the top of my head which ones I have. I have a couple of little books, so I decided, you know what? We'll just throw it all in there. Yeah, I'm telling you, Kitty, you're right. I mean, it just feels like it's, it's a step up. And I would say that my B is going to be the single barrel because I don't have the proof point of a barrel proof. And it completely smells and tastes like the game has been enhanced. Like this guy, the first guy was a really good athlete. This guy took testosterone inthanate and no one caught him. It's just better. So much better. I do get a little like tar note on it. And that doesn't bother me at all. Maybe like if you had like a like a two or 3 day old coffee grounds, somewhere in that category. But yeah, definitely sweeter. It's funny. I absolutely know the smell I'm getting on the floral note. The floral note that I'm actually getting is a freaking dandelion. It's a dandelion. No doubt about it to me. I'm sure it could be something else, but that's what it's resonating to me is a dandelion. Which is really weird if you think of the idea that it's sweeter. I have honey graham cracker, dandelion, tar, coffee grounds. It's so complex. You have all these different things going on. You're just like, wait a second, something else is coming. The finish on it's great. I wouldn't say that it's super long, but I still have taste. I'm not disappointed in how it's not like I'm drinking and I have it on the palate and it's gone. It's pretty good. So I like a good palate. I like something to lurk around and just hang around for a while back here. All right. I'm going to put that one above the one I just had. So I would put this a 7. Neither one of these compared to any of the Balcones or Iron Roots I had, that's for sure. Made me want some Knob Creek 9. Hey, Knob Creek 9 is freaking delicious. All right, let's go to the last one. Look at the color of this guy. This ain't even in the same ballpark as the other ones. It's not even kind of close. Not even a smidge close. Wow, that is like blood orange. That is like a blood orange color. That is crazy. That is crazy how beautiful they get their color. Whoa, that is straight toffee. That is like coffee toffee. Have you ever had like one of those caramel suckers that's like a toffee that has coffee in it? That's exactly what that smells like. That is a toffee, coffee, candy. How about that? That is incredible. The legs on it are amazing. It figures. This doesn't look like what's in my other bottles, so this has to be the other one. Man, does that just smell completely different? Oh, I do get a little bit I wouldn't say that I got like this overwhelmingly like, wow, that's a high proof. I didn't get that right away, but I definitely got the little twinge up in the top of my nasal that was like, hey, this one has a little bit of giddy up in it. But man, yeah, toffee, coffee, like a, a caramel, a heavy caramel suck candy, maybe like a Werther's, like a dark Werther's, I guess. I still pick, I pick up a little bit of char though. I pick up like a char. What kind of char is that? It's something sweet. Maybe if you threw a torch on a graham cracker, maybe. I'm gonna say a charred graham cracker. Whew, man, that smells amazing. Oh yeah. Ooh, that's the proof. That is the proof. Definitely can tell that's like a 115 and above. Comes in really nice though. You get a little bit more tingle on the front of your tongue. It's still sweet. Mid palate opens up. The finish is mega long. This is a big finish. Thick, still just creeping down like the legs on my glass. The back of my palate is really not only just tingly, but a lot of saliva. I get like a big wood note on the finish, like a huge wood note. It feels like it's been aged for more than 12 years, is what it tastes like to me. It tastes like it has a lot of age. So if you're throwing a blind together with someone and one of the things you're going to blow their mind with is tell them to pick proof, throw Texas in there, if they don't know they're getting Texas, they'll be confused. I would be. Definitely a high rye mash bill though. Can't get away from a rye grain. There is like an underlying spearmint note on this guy too. The nose is good. The palate's better. Man, is that so nice. It tastes like it wants to be a low level scotch, like it got smoked or something, but it's obviously not. I don't get the afterbite of what I would normally get with a scotch. That is easily, hands down, way better than the rest of them. Way better. All right. Yeah. Man, I'll tell you what. I'm so glad I've gotten into this Texas shootout stuff because it is really darn good. What's up, RVA Whiskey? RVA's in the house. Marty, Richie, Dano H. So, if you jumped in late, we're doing stage 3 of the shootout. This is the final stage. And then what I'll do is I have the other samples coming back in, and I'll put these side by side and see which wins between the Balcones. I have to go back and look at my list of what it was. I have a Balcones, an Iron Root, and whichever one wins are the Garrison brothers. I know Daniel knows what are the 2 that have won so far. Daniel, if you can put in the chat, what are the 2 that's won so far so I don't have to dig around and find it. I know I have it in one of these notebooks, but I know one of them was a Grand Cru. I know the Grand Cru won one of them. but I don't know which one was the other one off the top of my head. All right, so I have these ranked. I'm going to go back through and check them again. See what they've done. Have they opened up? Because, man, letter A has completely changed on the nose. Yeah, the Balcones Grand Cru cast strength won the Balcones. Was it a barrel 2 batch 3 or barrel 1 batch 3 of Iron Root Republic? Yeah. So Iron Root Republic, Harbinger Evolution barrel number 1, batch 3, won that series. This got really sweet. Holy hell. I mean, wow. This turned into like cinnamon toast crunch right out of the cereal. Maybe even sweeter than that. Maybe with like a little bit of maple syrup, maple top. There's a huge maple note that came into this guy that was not anywhere in my tasting at all. By tasting my nose, this turned into so much. And I know that Daniel is a Texas guy in here. From what I've learned so far from these blinds I've done, Texas whiskey is really good. Texas whiskey gets amazing if you decant it. It has to. If you set and give it some breathing time, let it open up and that stuff, it turns into an absolute bomb. It is, holy hell. That is so stunningly different on the nose. Oh, it's smoothed out. Oh, man. It's like, it's kind of hard to, it's so good. Yeah, it had time to breathe, Marty. I went back to my first one. So it had, however long I've been on here. So probably about 15, 20 minutes of just sitting open. But man, did it change completely. I would say it definitely smoothed out. The mid palate still has some of the notes I was getting up. It did sweeten up a little bit. I think that burnt cinnamon toast crunch or toast was still there. I still get this burnt toast taste. But there's definitely that sweetness has amped up a smidge. I wouldn't say it's like out of the park. On the nose, holy hell. Completely different on the nose. Absolutely different. So let's see what does it. That's so strange. Why did that one turn into a fruit bomb and this turn into a citrus bomb? And that smells like I just peeled an orange. That is so bizarre. And hopefully you guys always take notes when you're tasting stuff. That way you go back, and it's really good to have tasting notes and write everything down, because what you end up having the ability to do is if you buy something that you're like, wow, this is kind of lackluster. I wish I wouldn't have got it, but I don't want to throw it away. Think about what it's missing and then go back to your notes and see what's in there that's missing. So if you say, wow, I bet you it would be really nice if it had like this burnt char taste and all that stuff. It's like, oh, hey, I had a Garrison Brothers that did that. So that's why I always take notes for about everything I do. Yeah, this turned into a weird note on my letter B. Oh my God. Way sweeter on the palate. So bizarre. Really good though. Really complex. Lots of differences. Lots of different notes. Big. This one actually turned into a pretty big finish. I feel like it's barely slowly creeping down. You definitely have tannin, a heavy tannin on the back of these, where you feel like you have that wood. Oh, you definitely need to do that. Definitely. I have books upon books of like 3-ring binders, just not even 3 rings, just these guys. I have notebooks up off of notebooks. Me and the Gunny have our own sets of notebooks. We have at his house and mine that we have to go back with. And that way, if you ever want to go back and, hey, I saw this, or I know that someone has this, is it something worth getting? Just go back and look at your notes. All right, let's go to the last one more time. What has it done? It just got flipping amazing. It's sending all kinds of like drill instructor commands to me, like, you will like me. Yo. Oh, God, that is so freaking good. Holy hell. That is just like, I don't know, nectar. That's really good. The nose on this turned into like the top of a creme brulee. What's up, James Morgan? Glad you could jump in here, brother. So happy to have you guys. Thanks for jumping in here, everybody. I love the hell out of you guys. I love this. I love what I do. I love the chat. I love getting on craziness. I usually go till 9. Sometimes I hang after. Sometimes I hang on way too long after if someone wants me to. I know Mash and Drum is after me. He starts at 9. He's going to have Trevor on from the Bourbon Wrench, and they're going to be pre-gaming Matt Madness. And then afterwards, Livewire is going to be going on. Livewire will be doing, instead of Stan, the mash bill. So check them out. So Daniel H. at Bourbon Battalion, I have a buddy whose dad took every cigar he ever smoked, saved the label, and glued it into a small notebook. Yep. Me and my brother used to do that. We've kind of fallen off of doing that, but I have every wrapper I've ever smoked. I just got away from actually putting them in the book and doing the notes, but I've been doing it long enough that I really know what I like and what I don't, just based on, where's it wrapper from? Where's my filler? Those kind of things I know pretty common knowledge to me. So I'm looking for, is it Nicaraguan? Is it Honduras? Is it Dominican? What is it? What wrapper is it? Where's it from? Who wrapped it? Those kind of things. I know that you can never go wrong with an AJ Fernandez. I've never had a bad AJ Fernandez. But I always go Maduro. I don't go lower than a Maduro with AJ Fernandez. So this last one is, like I said, this one's definitely the high proof. This has got to be the barrel proof. There's no doubt about it. But it is a flavor bomb. Significantly sweeter than the rest. And that may be because it's so aromatic with the idea that, it's a higher proof. So you're getting this big evaporation. It's a wrench fest. Listen, when I do that, that tastes so good. Daniel H., we are definitely going to need to talk. Richie, I would love to be in the brackets. Not sure that I'm game. I would have no issue doing it. I would love to do it. We'll see. We'll see if it happens. I know that somewhere down the road here, me and the wrench are going toe-to-toe. Probably after Matt Madness. He's got to get his game on. But we're going to do a United States Army shellacking. No, but all good fun. It's for a good cause. We're going to get together and we're going to do this. Hopefully raise some money that'll go towards some veteran stuff that Trevor's a part of. And it'll be a lot of fun. Oh, no. You didn't send me with my father's. No, I'm just giving you a hard time. Dude, I appreciate anything. Okay, whatever letter C is, I highly recommend you get it. If it's something you can get. I don't know. C is heads above, not even close to the other two. The other two are great. I don't have a problem with it. I know C, for me, it goes CBA. No doubt about it. I did not want that to end. I would smoke a cigar right now with C. All right, let me look at these cards. What's what? Okay, so my third place is the Garrison Brothers Texas Straight Bourbon Whiskey Small Batch at 94 proof. My number 2, which was my B, is the Garrison Brothers Texas Straight Bourbon Whiskey Single Barrel, which leaves my winner, the Garrison Brothers Barrel Proof Single Barrel Pick BSB or B5B, I can't tell, Texas, at 122.5 proof. Doesn't surprise me. I'm a high proof guy, but man, was it a fruit bomb. Absolutely delicious. So if you could run across a Garrison Brothers Barrel Proof Single Barrel Pick Texas, it is definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. You know, if I sit there and talk about, you know, like my palate and the things, I'm very comfortable with being able to tell, like, I'm really good with mash bills. Just because I know my palate and I know the things that identify certain things to me. Probably if I was to go into something like a Matt Madness or do something like I'm going to do with the wrench, I would definitely have to go do some like double blinds with the gunny or whoever and get more used to getting proofs right. So it's really weird. I really like high proof. I can tell if I have a high proof. I can usually be pretty close with my high proofs. The problem is I like nuclear stuff. I love really high proofs. So that makes it really hard sometimes to get really close to some of the lower proof stuff. I definitely struggle with some of that stuff. I'll be like, what? This doesn't taste like anything to me. It tastes like water. So that's stuff I will be working on. So Garrison Brothers, the single barrel proof Texas pick at 122 is the winner of this round. And then next week, I will do the shootout between the three to figure out my 1, 2, and 3 between Balcones, Garrison Brothers, and the Iron Root. And now it's time to just sit back, enjoy that it's hump day. We're halfway through the week, and we're going to drink. So bourbon type proofs, age, and distillery profiles would help. Yeah, so I mean, I think that's the thing, right? You just have to get more used to going through and trying a bunch of different things. If I knew I was going into something like that, I would definitely go have the gunny do that. You know, I would just say, hey, build me some blinds, various proofs, ages, distillery profiles, all that stuff. And that's the good thing I could do, right? Is Top Shelf Dustin in here? What's up, Dustin? Well, you know, I think that's the thing, right? That I'm exploring my palate because I had never had Texas whiskey. So that's why I'm doing a 3-step shootout. I'm pretty sure that it's not going to be where the other two were. The other two I had were incredible. I wouldn't have a problem having this last Garrison Brothers. This last one I had, the barrel proof, I didn't hate it. Not at all. Matter of fact, I'm going to take them all and just blend them together real quick so I have something to sip on. So if anybody has any desire to just jump in here and do a pub hangout style for the last 45 minutes, I'm all in for that. You know, but I know it's early for some people. So I know that besides the fact of doing the upcoming Battalion Hump on Booker's, there's going to be a collection series with Knob Creeks, which we have between me and the gunny, we have an extensive amount of that. And then we're going to look at it. You know, we might try to do ages, go back and see if we can get a different whiskey and try them and say, hey, listen, we're going to do this year forward. Do something that was from like 1990, 91, 92, 93, 94, all the way up, and see what did we pick up on any kind of nuances or differences. We've talked about doing ages. We just got to see if we have enough to do them all. Do you guys already have the 25th anniversary on hand? Yes, we do. I don't. The gunny does. But he will let me have a sample. I think he should. I mean, he's got to start drinking some of that stuff eventually. I mean, it's not like he can drink. He could never drink all the stuff he has. I could. I definitely could. No doubt about it. I could go through mine. But I keep getting more, so I probably wouldn't. And there's stuff in here that I would blend. Without a doubt. I'd smoke it. I'd do something with it. Because my palate's just advanced past it so much, I don't think it's something that I would really ever care to have anymore. And, you know, that's the other thing that you run into. Now, I know I did send a sample out to Dusty Dan. He wanted me to do a smoke project for him, and he got it today and tried it. And he was like, dude, if you could make that, buy the bottle and sell it, I would buy it. And so I was like, well, you know, that's not as easy as you might think, because, you know, you have when you start trying to do it in volume, that changes. You have to have a lot of volume to do it. So, but if you're interested in that kind of stuff, I love tinkering with the smoke. I love going through and doing profiles and blends and changes. And I eventually will get back into doing a couple of smoke projects down the road. I had some people reach out to me and said, hey, I really like when you smoke and blend. You know, are you going to do that again? Yes, I will get back to doing it eventually. But there's so many things I want to do and the idea of going through collections, going through and trying some stuff, and just looking at the variances of how things have changed. Like me and the gunny have some stuff between the two of us that is older and now, and what's the difference between what it was like 15, 20 years ago and what's it like now, and really seeing, do we notice a difference? I know for sure, like Elijah Craig 12 barrel proof, old school barrel proof is amazing. Even if you go back to just the Elijah Craig 12 basic, right? It's still way different than what they have today. That's supposedly supposed to be the same recipe. It doesn't taste the same at all. So it's, oh man, it's so much fun going through and doing that and trying different things. And, you know, we're no different than anybody else. You know, we're limited to where we're at. Okay, I'll check it. I haven't checked it like right now, but I will. Yeah, you know, I mean, we have to go hunting just like everybody else has to. So, you know, the benefit, you know, is having like connections. It used to be really simple because I traveled so much. Yeah, I don't think it's that much different today versus 5 or so years ago. But when you get into some of the old bottles, the old Elijah Craig 12 barrel proofs and stuff like that, they do taste different. If you're ever interested, me and the gunny both have them. We have some of the older Expression, the old bottles, and they are uniquely different for sure. But thank you to everybody that, you know, supports the channel via PayPal, Venmo, Patreon. All that stuff goes into the bar. Eventually, I look forward to building some more shelves on the other side. I do need to do some lighting changes. I have lighting. I actually am portraying what I want it to look like, even though some people have said, oh, you know what, you need to make it so it's brighter and that stuff. I kind of like the amber undertone, kind of just chilling and relaxing kind of mood. But having said that, I definitely have some stuff like that I want to change. I do have some things, you know, lined up. A lot of my Patreon people, well, it's not like I have a lot of Patreon. My Patreon people that are there, we get together quite often. We do hangouts. Smoke and joke sessions, HQ time, merch, all that kind of fun stuff, right? So it's always an interesting thing. So what's everybody else drinking on? I mean, I'm pretty sure I missed it if you guys were talking. I know some people were talking about, Knob Creek. I'm more interested. What's top shelf? Dustin, what are you drinking on tonight? So I am going to, well, just because I sampled it and tried it, and I know Dustin's like, oh, I can't believe you're going to drink that crap. I am going to have another swig of this Garrison Brothers single barrel, just because. I just opened it today, so I want to drink some of it. So Springbank 21 2019 edition in the glass. Nice. Oh, yeah, the Willet Rye from yesterday. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. I'm always intrigued when I hear someone that says they don't like rye. Not that that's wrong. I understand why someone wouldn't like it. Did you see the review? Hold on. Did you see the review Mike and I put up on their regular bourbon? No, I'll have to go back and look at that, Dustin. Single bearer, Elijah Craig store pick Bell Mead Reserve now 1792 full proof is on deck. Hey, can't go wrong with that. I'll tell you what. I'm a fan. I have the full proof. I actually have a 1792 full proof store pick from the Whiskey Kitchen down in Louisville. Maybe I will crack that with you when we get to that time. Did any of you, by any chance, happen to see the intro video into tonight's show? If you did, I would love some feedback. I think I did it right. I thought it came up there and played. I thought Daniel said he saw it, but hey, that's because Dustin likes top shelf shit. Well, I can already tell that you said that you felt sorry that I was drinking it. So I'm sure that it will be one of those things that you're pretty candid about what you think of it, which is what it should be to you. I think the thing that's important to me right now, Dustin, and anybody that's in here, is just spending so much time advancing my palate, figuring out, okay, why is it that these big complexity, different changes and all that kind of stuff has changed? The sound was too low? Okay, I can do that. I'll go back and look at that and see if that was a me thing or if I need to have it amped up a little bit. But yeah, I just think it's so interesting how your palate can change so much. Stuff you would never drink that you would think is absolute garbage, now you actually like, and the stuff that you did like, or you're finding out now that, man, that just seems kind of like blah. Really blah. So I know that somewhere in here, the link to this is in here somewhere. If anybody wants to jump on and just hang out until he goes, feel free. I'm always about hanging out. And as always, I usually go till 9, and at that point, I'll tell everybody, hey, go over and support the Master Drum and all that stuff. But if I have people lingering around, lurking, whatever, I won't leave anybody. If someone wants to hang and talk and chat and drink, and I'm always down for that. I always stay. Sometimes I think I'll be done at 9, and sometimes I am. Sometimes I think I'll be done at 9, and I wind up like at 3:30 in the morning. So it's hard to say. Yeah, but I don't hate this at all. What is that? Stellum? If you like rye, search out barrel seagrass, 118 proof. There's been a lot of people raving on that. Yeah, I'll have to see if I can't track that down. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could find it if I needed to. Yeah, you definitely want to drink bourbon, Marty, when you're doing the bills. That's for sure. No doubt about it. Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Am I going to rush right out to get another one to have it double backed on the bar? No. There's other things I want more, but I'm glad that I had it and tried it. The single barrel I would, or not the single barrel, barrel proof, the barrel proof one that was the pick out of Texas, I would buy that. That was good. I had no problem with that. Anybody smoking a cigar right now? Because that sounds like an amazing thing to be doing right now. I feel like as soon as my hangout's over, I'm definitely going to probably do that. Doing the bills with high proof has its pros and cons. That is absolutely true, Sugar Kitty. You don't want to get so much that you get, oh, I'm going to go ahead and pay this off right now. And you realize that like you just blew your grocery money. So, yeah. No, that's always, I try not to ever drink and do bills because that just is a recipe for disaster. So let's see, what are some things coming up? So I'm in the process of here. I'm hoping by the end of June, I should have my website up that will have my merch. We'll have about everything. I'll have a complete repository of everything. I will have my own website. I will have my own LLC. I have that in the works. There's a couple things I've been doing locally, whether it be doing tastings and stuff like that. But yeah. Yeah, that would suck. What would suck is if you had 25,001. That would have sucked. They're like, oh, you just overpaid your account for like 10 years. I feel like this bottle has a time. Glenn allocated. Oh, that's right. You opened that up today, didn't you, Daniel? Did you get your shipment? I heard back from everybody else, but I didn't hear back from you. So I'm guessing if you have the Glen Allocate, you got your shipment. Oh, you know what? It's a necessary. You know what? I'll tell you that. Yeah. Yeah, Marty. The Women of Whiskeys on Instagram is up over 300 now. They're up 309, right? I know they went up over 300 that. It didn't show up yet. Did you look at the tracking? I thought it was supposed to show up today. I'll be there tomorrow. All right. Yeah, that was easily the heaviest shipment I've ever sent. I think it was like, 17 pounds? Yeah, I need to go to something else. What do I want to go to? What should I hit next? Hopefully, if you told me to hit something, it's something I have. The Gunny's trying to call. He's just got to understand that he can't call during the live feed time. He knows it's my live feed time. Silly goose. Although he is hunting. He's definitely hunting. Oh, it got pushed back? Yeah. Let me send him a message real quick and say, hey, live. He'll be like, oh. but he is in. Actually, Dustin, he's down by you right now. The Gunny is down by you. He is in the Cincinnati area. He said it tastes like 1792. Oh, heaven help. All right, I'll do a single barrel. I'll do a single barrel side by side of the Garrison Brothers and the 1792. All right, so 1792 single barrel. We'll do a side by side with the Garrison Brothers single barrel. This is 98.6 proof. Theirs is 94 proof. In order to create this unique bourbon, the finest barrels are selected and toasted from the best aging warehouses. Only those barrels deemed exceptional are then bottled individually one by one. They preserve the distinct character of each barrel. The superior bourbon has flavors of rich butterscotch and caramel notes, delicately balanced with hints of fruit and toffee. That sounds like they took that off of every single thing I've ever read. Garrison Brothers. Do they say anything fancy like that? Homegrown and handmade, small batch bourbon whiskey made with the finest Texas corn and hill country rainwater. Aged 3 years in slow growth Northern American oak harvested from sustainable forest. And then it doesn't say what it tastes like. But obviously, Dustin says they think they taste like 1792. So, you want me to reach out to Whiskey Fancies? I'm down with that. Is that on Instagram or YouTube? Richie Z? DC Bourbon Battalion. Trev swears that 1792 tastes better outside. What does Trev know? He's an army guy. He doesn't know anything. But I do like drinking outside, so he might be onto it. But I'm pretty sure, he just discovered that. All right, so there's this bonk 1792 single barrel. All right. So let's see here. The eyes. Well, the Texas is definitely darker. I can tell you that for sure. Viscosity wise, as of this very moment, it's kind of hard to tell because I'm waiting to see what drops. I don't know. I'll get back with you on that. That one I'll tell you what they look. The Texas actually looks like it's going to have a better finish. And my initial view off the eyes, I would say that the 1792 looks like it's going to be thinner. So we'll see. So I will go back into the Garrison Brothers. Sweet. I guess you could. It still has a lot of the same notes. It actually has really good nose. I have no beef with the nose on this at all. But man, it just has that very distinct char, barrel tannin, a little bit of tar, tea, honeycomb maybe. I think the sweetness is more like a honeycomb. But a lingering finish, I would give the finish medium to long. And they say that it takes. Well, the nose is not even in the same ballpark of each other. Man. So the Garrison Brother nose is way more bold, way more rich. This is very light. It's very light. I would say vanilla. What else is that? What is that? There's something weird in there. It's really light though. Everything is kind of more along the lines of like a. Man, you can't get away from the vanilla. I definitely do not have butterscotch. I don't know where the hell they came off of that. I'm very familiar with butterscotch. You know, every good kid that ever grew up with butterscotch hard candy, you know exactly what that is. You know, maybe vanilla extract and like a very light cream. No, I mean, Garrison Brothers is way more complex. I there's way more going on with it. This is way smoother. Definitely a lot more smoothness to it. You don't have a big mid palate like statement. It comes across. You definitely can tell that hey, this is a substantial drink, but it's pretty light. I would think it'd be more like a homemade vanilla ice cream, kind of like that light vanilla where it isn't like super sweet, but it's like really just kind and on your palate. I mean, I guess you could say that maybe a really, really light vanilla with a slight caramel drizzle, maybe, but not a lot. I still don't pick up butterscotch at all on this. I don't know if it's because I've had the Garrison Brothers and it's just so much more going on in the palate. It feels like the 1792 single barrel when it hits your front end of your palate, there's nothing. It's like if you had syrup without, if you just had simple syrup with no sugar. It's like a nice coating of something that really has no expression. So let me see if my palate's blown. I'm going to go back over here and see if I still get something on my palate on the front of this guy, because I'm not getting squat on this. No. I instantly get a big sweet note on the front of my palate with this guy, and I don't get anything on here. So Garrison Brothers to me does not taste like 1792 at all. Not even kind of close. You guys talking about forest? My son is actually studying. He's actually in the middle of an internship to be an arborist. I hate when I look and see a huge delay on my screen from what's going on my stream. So, holy hell, Cheech is in the house. Anthony's in the house. Dude, I'm so glad you guys jumped in here. Cheers, you. Bourbon neophyte Anthony is out camping, living the dream. Cheech is being Cheech, which is amazing. Doing gigs, rocking it out. Cut the trees. You can't cut them all. You know what? The problem that you run in California, right, is you have people that aren't willing to go through and do what you have to do, which is to get rid of the underbrush. And that means you have to get rid of some of the little shit underneath because it is just kindling that will burn all the old stuff. So keep the big trees, cut the underbrush. Oh, Anthony's home working on the Wi-Fi. Man, this 1792 single barrel it's not doing it for me. It's very smooth. Listen, this would go really good with a Maduro cigar because it just doesn't have any complexity. I'd even do a double Maduro with this. Well, that's the only reason that you have these amazing forests, and California has some of the most amazing forests. They're burning to the ground because no one's taking care of the maintenance of cutting out the underbrush. I mean, we do controlled burns here all the time. Literally, our forest down here at Mohican State Forest and Cuyahoga Valley Forest and all that stuff, there's controlled burns on the underbrush all the time, getting rid of all the underbrush, pulling out all the dead trees, getting rid of all the other stuff. So it just doesn't turn into a big, huge kindling experiment and how much heat can it do to burn down trees that should not burn. Oh, that's funny. That's okay. You still got to take care of the underbrush. So I'm just saying. That's super funny. Rock all night and hunt all day. But yes, DC, it's kind of cool. You know, it's been like a weird journey as far as like, I know this is kind of off topic, but, you know, watching your kids grow up and see them, you know, go through struggles, find their way and then lose their way, and then trying to identify, hey, I want to go to college, but do I really want to go to college, and just struggle with trying to figure out where they fit in and what do they want to do. It's been kind of like a really neat journey to see. My son went from a track of going to school for nursing to now he is really enjoying. I do now, Dustin. That's why I kind of changed, because I didn't catch the beginning of it. I know what you're talking about, but I'm also going to address that I wasn't the only one, and my son is going to actually be an arborist for real, not just someone that's really good at trimming bush. But let me tell you, it's really what he has to go through and what he has to do is like crazy. He has to be able to walk into a forest and they can point out any 25 trees, and he has to be able to identify not only what the tree is, but what species and class it comes from. It's a lot of stuff. So yes, I did not catch the beginning of this whole forestry conversation. So, but I'm on it now. You said bush. Oh, now I will say, you know, this 1792 single barrel is definitely getting better as it opens up. It's getting sweeter and all that stuff. I think it was just that there was so much differences. Shut up, Reggie. There's so much differences from going from Texas to something else. So I'm going to pour a little bit more because I really don't care if I have this on the bar or not. I'm starting to get more and more comfortable with things disappearing from the bar. I feel like such a bad kitty tonight. Yeah, making those weird cat calls. Not the meow. It's more of like that. So funny. No, I say that this 1792 single barrel did take a little bit of time to open up, but yeah, totally different than Garrison Brothers. It does not taste the same. Bobby, do you have any cats or dogs? I do not. Much to my chagrin, I do. Now, don't get me wrong. I am an animal lover. However, all of the animals in my house were stuff that my kids saved, rescued, whatever, and then couldn't take them with them. So I literally have a zoo. What's up, Tito? So the Garrisons that I did in the blind today was I had the Garrison Brothers Texas Straight Bourbon Whiskey Small Batch, 94 proof. The Garrison Brothers Texas Straight Bourbon Whiskey Single Barrel, 94 proof. And I had the Garrison Brothers Barrel Proof Single Barrel Pick BSB or B5B out of Texas at 122.5 proof. And the 122.5 proof is the one that won. So. Dustin, you're not wrong. So Daniel said, Obtainium Polish rye is outstanding. I look forward to getting that. I think that, I don't know if that's part of the ones I have coming here soon. I know that here in the next week or two, I have some of that stuff coming from someone I've been in contact with. I just have to get caught up on sending money out and getting stuff figured out and all that kind of stuff. You know, I'll tell you what, my wife had she had a cat that lived to be like 21 years old. So yeah, I get it. The oldest animal in the house right now, so we have 4 dogs and 2 cats in the house. All of them were rescues by my kids, except for one, which was a rescue my wife got. So all of these were supposed to be animals that left with my kids, and all my kids are gone, and I have all of them. So I love them. You know, it's super nice. You know, you're never home alone. You never have to worry about that. They're always fun. They always love you. They want to be around you. I have a ginormous cat. It's a Maine Coon. Ugh. And if you've seen the mother of this one, it's a little bitty, teeny weeny black cat that my daughter rescued years ago. They got attacked by a hawk. It only has one eye, and it was a mangled mess. I thought for sure the cat was going to die when she actually brought it home. And she had seen a hawk on top of this kitten, and she shooed it off, and the cat was still alive. And she brought it in, and man, Bailey, my oldest daughter Bailey was not that. She was still pretty young, and she nursed that cat back to health, and it's still alive. I don't know how old Bieber is, but old. Kind of old for being a cat that barely survived a bird attack. What is your desert island bottle? Evan Williams, 23. Without a doubt. That is the best 107 proof bourbon that there is. And you'll never change my mind. It is delicious. Yeah, so this is like new, right? So you if you don't know me, I do not spend very much time in the news. I really could not tell you much of anything going on because I got so disenfranchised. I cut our TV. I got away from a lot of social media. I couldn't tell you squat going on. But someone told me, hey, you know, there's like this gas shortage. I was like, what? It's like, where? And they're like, no, like literally there's like something gas and people are lining up. I was like, well, there ain't nobody lined up at the pumps where I live. So yeah, I'm looking at this, but I've never ever heard that. No, I did not, but at the end of this month I will. James asked, did I score a new one? Because he knows I bottle killed my last one. No, I have not, but I have every intention of here in the May-June time period. Both May and June, I will be in Kentucky, and also in September, I will be down for the whiskey. What is it? They call it is it the whiskey experience, the bourbon experience, whatever it is. I'll be down there for those 3 days. I hope someday to actually be one of those guys that gets invited to come down there because I love everything about bourbon. But you know what? We'll see. Yeah, Tito. I just checked out. You know what? I know what I know. And I know that I have every vectored area on a 360 degree swivel from my house covered at 250 yards. So outside that, I don't care. I just have fires, smoke cigars, and drink whiskey. We'll have to hook up, Marty. Actually, I'm pretty sure that the Mrs. Battalion's going with me. I was surprised that she said she wanted to go, and I was like, "Really?" She's like, "Well, don't you think I need to like go to this if I'm going to actually get on your stupid channel and try some stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah." So, I'm telling you right now, it'll be really, really funny. I look so forward to her getting on here. But yeah, it would. What is my favorite MRE? So for anybody in here that does not know what an MRE is, in the military you get what's called rations. Those rations are called MREs, and they're called meal ready to eat. It's a combination of either dehydrated or chemically packed, whatever food you should be able to eat, whatever, whatever. I can only talk about the ones I had when I was in. So you had to do some trading, you had to do some swapping to get my favorite MRE ever. My very favorite one was pork with rice and barbecue sauce. But you had to trade somebody to get their grape jelly. You had to trade someone to get the extra Tabasco. And you had to trade someone to get their extra sugar. If you added jelly, the grape jelly, the Tabasco, and the extra sugar and stirred it all up, it made it sweet and sour pork. And it was delicious. And that is thanks to Cager and Dixon from New York. They were two of my Marine Corps brothers that I couldn't figure out for the life of me why they kept going through. And are there any veggies in MREs? No, not when I was in. Not a chance. I had never seen a vegetable ever. But it was such a thing. I was like, "What are you guys doing?" It's like, "Listen here, man. You need to make this stuff good." And I was like, "Okay, teach me." No, Midwestern meat and potato me versus some dudes that really like, spice and hot and sweet and sour and all that kind of stuff. They taught me, I'll tell you what, that was the best meal. I traded for that the whole rest of the time I was in. Yeah, they are heavy calories. Sometimes some of them are even higher calories than that. They're meant to sustain you. So the idea is that you're not supposed to eat everything in an MRE at the very first go. Yeah, and you did, but a lot of people traded for different things, right? You just didn't know. If you didn't know, you didn't know. And so you have like all kinds of weird things that come in an MRE. So besides food, you have toiletries, you have toilet paper, you have your Tabasco sauce, you have your salt and pepper, you have usually they give you a chewing gum of some kind. You had coffee, cocoa, you had like a whole condiment pack in there. And it was one of those things that was really unique that and you were full. When you got done eating it, you weren't really hurting that bad because it was so high in fat and calories. Yeah, it was definitely different. But I think the same thing is that you run into things have changed over time. I was in the early 90s. So I went into Marine Corps boot camp in 1991 and I got out of the United States Marine Corps in 1996. My brother went into the United States Marine Corps in 1978 and he got out in 1998. So there was this progression. If you look at the people that are in now and they have MREs now, they're totally different. Totally different. They're much more gourmet. They have stuff that I could have never even thought of. Tony Two Toes. That's one of the things I never had a problem with ever. I just never did. Never was an issue for me. Mostly because I've always been a person that really, really enjoys drinking water. And I drink water pretty high volume. So for me, it's never been an issue. I will say this, though, that I went into the Marine Corps with really good cholesterol. And I came out of the Marine Corps with super high cholesterol. So maybe they have something to do with that. So Trev, Dan, Bobby have helped defend our freedom. Oh, you know what? Listen, we willingly and wanted to sign that, and we're damn proud of doing it. And I've talked to Trev and Dan about it. You know what? And Cam Wilson as well, or not Cam Wilson, Cameron. Cameron was in the Marine Corps. There's other guys that are in here that have served a lot of different branches. It doesn't matter. to me, it just doesn't matter what branch you were a part of. If you took the time to sign on the dotted line, you signed your life away with the willingness to defend something that was greater than you. Whether you lived or not was just a byproduct of your situation. So I was very proud to do it. I'm very proud of the fact that I did, and I would do it again. Exactly. I think that's the thing, right? You have a lot of people that was out there that went out and, but the hard thing to understand that it's a bummer that you have anybody losing their life. You sign. I can tell you right now, my brother said it the best I've ever heard. He said, the day I signed on that dotted line, I signed my life away. I did not expect to live. The fact that I did is what it is. So for me, I think that's the difference. It's just understanding that, I did it. I was proud to do it. I came from a long line of people in my family that did that. And, it is what it is. I would do it again. If they asked me today, hey, we really need you, would you go? I'd be, yep. I said, let me have the higher power weapon from way far away because these guys are way faster than me and way younger. But listen, I can still shoot with the best of them. Oh, by the way, that's going to be a thing, right? So I've made some arrangements. I don't know what time this summer. There will be a battalion. I don't know. It's going to be tricky. I don't know how to do it and not get in trouble for doing it. Not in where I live. I can do it all day long. It's how to not get in trouble on YouTube or whatever. So I don't know. I have to think about it. I definitely have a plan about taking stuff and that we don't really care for, and just showing the bottle, showing the name of the bottle. Trust me, there won't be actually any juice in it. There might be something that looks like juice in it, like tea or something, but it won't be bourbon because I would blend or smoke anything. I don't ever pour anything away. But I have every intention of blowing that stuff up at about 100, 200 yards away. And I have someone that's willing to come video it. So I love marksmanship. I love everything about it. So who we got in here? We got Young Pei Chang. So we just got a notification today that in 3 weeks, which I think is June 2nd, all of the COVID restrictions in Ohio are dropped. There will be none, zero. Everyone going to be dropped. No more social distancing, no more mask mandates, no more anything. That just came out today. They said in 3 weeks, June, which I think is June 2nd. Let me double check here. They said 3 weeks. So yes, June 2nd, they're dropping all COVID health restrictions and mandates. So we will be back to normal. Now, granted, listen, it's been kind of really normal here anyway. Try a crossbow. I have shot a crossbow. It's not as fun as shooting stuff like a long ways away. I'll tell you what, Dustin, in my area, it's I think that they said it was 85% in my county. And I can pretty much validate that because I know when we went through and did it, some of the lines were 7 and 8 hours long. So, but the numbers are down. The overall numbers, from what I hear, my daughter called me, and so in my community, in my county, people were they did a good job. So we didn't really have tons of craziness here. But at the same token, everybody was kind of more of like, hey, you know what? We'll do what we have to do to be respectful to those other people, but no one really threw a fit. Yeah, so in June, Dustin, you won't have to wear masks or nothing. Everything's open, 100% open, back to normal. Yeah, so the mask will be gone. Bars are back open to 2 o'clock. Everything will be normal. Well, maybe in your neck of woods, I don't know. I just know my county. Up here in Ashland, Ohio, we've been on point. But you are down in Cincinnati, which the most important thing about Cincinnati is you're really close to Kentucky. And hey, let's be honest, you can get like a SG. Yeah, so but it's interesting to see that you have this thing, this dynamic going on where it's getting back to normal here. I know when I was in Florida for spring break this year, there was still some people that I had to do. Yeah, so Garrison and 1792, same whiskey, huh? No, not at all. They were definitely not the same. Not even kind of close. Nothing about them tastes the same. It will be. RVA, you're right. It will be. There's going to be people that are. I think the thing that's hard though, right? Because you think of like growing up, and everybody is different ages. But I remember growing up. You had flu season, you had all this stuff. Yes, this was different. Um, so I had it, and I had it really bad. So I'm not saying it's not. I absolutely know what it is and what it did to me. But at the same token, I've been through some like I thought I got it the way I got it really bad because I was basically in a clean room. I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. I wasn't opened up to anything. I didn't get any. My antibodies had no reason to be up for any reason at all. So, but at the same token, I did get it. I went through all the processes. I did what I was supposed to do, and I've been tested for everything. I have the antibodies. I did have it, and I have both vaccinations. So, there's nothing else I can do right now other than drink bourbon, and I just stay high proof because if you use 60% alcohol to clean your hands, that's 120 proof. So just drink above 120 proof. Yep. So Jason is on. Jason and Trevor on at 9. Feel free to go over there, support those guys. I know that they're getting ready for Matt Madness. If you want to stay and hang out, I will hang out until nobody wants to. But it's 9:03. I know those guys are on. I will stay here until there's someone that doesn't want to be here. But in the meantime, I'm going to talk about how 1792 single barrel and Garrison Brothers single barrel are not the same. So I don't know why they would even say that. I don't even know how they could say that. There's nothing about them. Nothing on the nose, nothing on the palate, nothing in the color of the bottle, nothing. There's zero chance that you could ever say these two things are similar. So RVA said, tell everybody that drink enough bourbon and you're good. Oh yeah, well, hey, it took me a while to figure that out. The Garrison Brothers is just a totally different thing, right? It just isn't the same. Yeah, they're not even the same. Not even kind of close. Not even. It's not even somewhere even remotely close, Dustin. There's not the color, the eyes, the legs, the nose, the palate, the finish. None of it is the same. And it's not like kind of, hey, I can tell this is this and this is this. It's like this is definitely not that. It's like extremely different. Yeah, it's the thing is that like the Texas is a very unique profile. It's such a unique profile. I'm doing a single barrel. I'm actually doing this guy. So that's the one I'm actually drinking now because it's the only one that wasn't a sample. I got a sample from Steve, and then I had a sample from uh, Dusty Dan. Yeah. I tell you, the thing that's really interesting, right? So when I went through, I did some, I got some just straight shine, right? I got some just straight clear bourbon, white dog. And someone wanted me to actually smoke it and make it look like, aged bourbon whiskey. So I took it, I barreled it in a small barrel. I pre-smoked the barrel with a different flavor profile, and then I also smoked the actual whiskey, poured it in, and I threw the chips that I used to smoke it in with it, and those char chips really brought the color out. I did that for I think it was 96 hours, and it looked like a 2-year-old whiskey. So the 2 barrel proof store picks. Hey, listen, I'm a fan of the barrel proof store pick. The Garrison Brothers isn't as good as the Iron Root or the Balcones, but I didn't hate it. It's unique. It's just a different taste. I think their prices are ridiculous. Ridiculous. No way in the world would. I know that when I got this, it couldn't have been that expensive because let's see, this was. So if it was barreled in 2012 and it aged 3 years, I bought this in 2015. So, I've had this for a while. It surely wasn't that expensive back when I bought it. No way I would have paid that for it. When I see what the prices are now, I wouldn't do that. Knowing what I know, I wouldn't. If I'm going to pay top dollar for something, it better be freaking good. But I'm not afraid to pay top dollar for something. It's all right. I would have it with a cigar. It would pair with a good maybe a Connecticut leaf wrapper that had maybe a Nicaraguan or Dominican filler. I'd be okay with that. But, would I choose it? Probably not. I feel like it would have blended really good with this. Just because I think it would have changed the palate on it. So I'm going to pour it in that glass. So I'm going to throw in some Elijah Craig 94 toasted barrel. And let's see. I just feel like it will have this weird thing that is, I think a lot of times, if you think of the profile that you have, now granted, there's some stuff that Daniel sent me and I've had and I did in the tasting and I thought it was really good. But yeah, barrel proof really goes good with Connecticut leaf. It does, because the problem you have is some people really goof this up. You cannot always put what? Yeah, I'm with you. If Elijah Craig did a barrel proof toasted, oh Jesus Lord. But Tito, I think that's well said, right? The reason why a high proof, barrel proof or whatever goes with a Connecticut leaf is because you have the difference in complexity between a really mellow caramely cigar wrapper with a high proof spice bomb. If you take a high proof barrel proof and throw it on a Maduro or double Maduro, it will blow your mid palate out. It will just, it's too much. It's too much. There's too much spice, too much oil, and you're taking this high stuff, especially if your high proof is a high rye. Ryes, you're going to struggle with a high proof rye with a Maduro or double Maduro dark wrappered cigar because they're spice bombs, and both of them are spice bombs. you'll blow each other out. So you want to do just the opposite. Higher the proof, the lighter the color. But you can do this. The darker, the lighter. Elijah Craig 94 small batch, or any kind of like barrel finish, port finish, sherry finishes, any kind of finished cigars are absolutely great with Maduro, double Maduro Negra cigar. They really are. My wife must be home. My dogs are up there having a freaking stroke because there's someone up there to give them love. So I apologize for all the dogs, but they are definitely going nuts up there. I can hear the chaos. So at Libation, broadleaf is dark and full flavor, but different. So Dano said that way is new to cigars. What is the difference between two? Oh. Yeah, so I'll let Tito explain. But if not, I can help you as well. Yeah, it's not a dog fight. It is a dog love fest. It's like Woodstock. Every time my wife comes home and the dogs are up there, they're like, yeah, we love you, party on. It's such a shit show. But the thing is, and there's a lot of different complexities with the color of the wrapper. And I think a lot of people have a lot of confusion over the idea of different things. Bridget? I thought I heard my wife. So the thing you have to really be aware of is that the flavor, the taste, all of that stuff comes from the wrapper. The filler just keeps the wrapper lit. Now, it does play a part. Don't get me wrong. It does play a part. Hey, Bridget. Bridget.
Yeah.
You going to come down here and say hi?
Maybe not.
There's only 8 people in here. So everybody's going to feel really left out because they didn't stay around. They're looking. You can come down and say hi because everybody knows Mrs. Battalion is going to eventually come on my live feed and drink bourbon. What? Because you straightened your hair? What do I care? You can just come say hi. You don't have to like talk or anything. You can just come say hi. So like Daniel's in here and James is in here and Tita's in here. So Mrs. Battalion is actually going to get to the point of, yeah, figuring out her whiskey journey. So you can say hi.
Hello.
So
I'm going
all right.
to crochet.
Is Lori coming up?
No, just by myself.
Out. Tito said, hi, Mrs. Battalion. So, she's a trooper, though. She'll get through it. She acts like she didn't like it. She'll figure it out. I will break her down. Yeah, she's so funny. She's a gamer. She knows it's a lot of fun. She'll hate it, but she'll do it. Yeah, sorry for that. I've been putting the computer up on a little mount a little bit so that it shoots down a little bit so I don't have so much glare in my glasses, because if I look up like this, it glares up. So I just turn that down and it doesn't bother me as much. So that helps out a lot. Whiskey Journey sounds like a channel. It does, doesn't it? So yeah, I think the thing that's cool is that her nose is flipping amazing, but it will be a process, right? The only thing she will smell immediately is just alcohol. It will just be alcohol. She'll be like, ugh, it smells like ethanol. But once she starts to discover that stuff, she has a schnoz like none other. Yeah, you know what? You're right. That's absolutely right. You usually find that I like a bigger wrapper. No, I understood what he meant. Whiskey Journey was more about, her whiskey journey and all that stuff. Because listen, her alcohol journey just started 3 years ago. 42 to 46 ring gauge. Yeah, I usually go higher. I like a bigger ring gauge. I like a really long, slow. I can take um, I can take a Toro or a Robusto, which are the smaller ones. I normally usually get, Tito, I usually do a double Toro because I really like about an hour and a half to 2 hour smoke. And I can drag that on quite a bit. So, but for the people that are on here and Mrs. Battalion came on, you got to talk mad trash to the people that bailed because they missed out on Mrs. Battalion. Now, she just got her hair cut. That's new. That's why she was like, came down and looked at me and I was like, she cut her hair a little shorter and all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. You joined Pravada this past month. Oh, dude, Pravada is great. You know what? Daniel has been giving me shit about the farm road. Yeah, but there is a big thing, right? There's a lot of stuff about understanding your wrappers, your ring gauges, your cuts, your caps. How many caps do you have? Making sure that you're not cutting your cap off and eliminating taste profiles. There's so many little things to go. And then how do you pair it, right? Pairing is not hard if you know your palate and you know your cigars. But if you don't, you can literally blow a $23 cigar on a really expensive bourbon and be miserable and hate both of them that you would have liked individually. So you have to be really aware of how you pair your really nice cigars and your really nice bourbon. High proof, high rye, light wrapper. And then build slowly to the other side. Now, over time, you'll be able to get to, like I can tell you, like I can do the Woodinville cash strength with a double Maduro. But I'm not new to it. Woodinville, their barrel aging process is so freaking unique. And it gets this like incredible taste out of how they do their barrel staves. And I'm just so intrigued by it. I am definitely a Woodinville fan just because they're like pushing the envelope. I have such a strong desire to actually go through and blend this Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel with this Garrison Brothers, but Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel is really good. I don't know if I want to do it on the single barrel, but I definitely have no problem with blending stuff. Now, I will say this, though. If you don't spend time with Pravada is really good. Really good. They do a good job and they give you really good shit. Love me some Woodinville. Still searching for some of their finished stuff. There's a lot of people out there, Tony, that have it. You know, you've been in some chats with me and other ones. I found mine. Actually, someone found it for me. So you might want to reach out. Some people might be able to still find it. But they did not drop in Ohio, or at least not in my area. So I need to proof up that. So what do I want to add to my toasted barrel? What about if I add some barrel proof? That sounds like something I should do. I'll take some Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel and mix it with my Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. So I'm going to mix it with my A118. Just a splitch. There ain't much in here. Put that back. Man, I have to do some hunting this summer. I am wearing down some stuff. I'm wearing it down. Hey, if you have any interest of jumping on here, I will kill the live stream and just have a pub session. I have no problem with that. Oh, that is so good. Right. I may do that with the rest of those bottles. That was delicious. Those two bottles look like they're exactly the same level. That would be a great one for one blend. Yep. Daniel Evan Williams 23 is usually, what is it? It's like three. I think after tax it ends up being like 367 or something like that. Yeah, it's definitely not cheap, and you can only buy one a year. Well, I thought I was going to be getting a My Father, but obviously I'm not. Fill a 375 with a mix and let it simmer. I'm really contemplating it because this is really good. It feels like a barrel proof toasted barrel. I mean, obviously it's not going to be exactly the same, but man, is it amazing. You know, my go-to cigar is the I forgot to send some of my father's to Bobby. Yeah, I'm giving it only because he said I thought for sure. I was like, oh, dude, that's gonna be so great. We could have that together and all that stuff. And he's just like, oh, I forgot. And I'm like, wah, wah, wah. So it's all right, man. Trust me, it's not like it's the only packages we're ever gonna send or not send. But my go-to cigar, without a doubt, is Oliva V Milanio Liga Especial. It is flipping amazing. It's pressed. I love a good pressed cigar that still has room on the back end to do a punch cut. And I have every intentions of doing a cigar as soon as this live feed ends. So we have Tito and Tony and Daniel. And we got a few more. It says in the live chat we have 8 in here. So, Robert, do you know Joachim Schnapp? So, no, I don't. I don't. Yeah, the Oliva V, the Oliva V Petit Corona is nice, but I really, really love the Oliva V Melania. Right, the Melania is great, but the Melania Liga Especial is flipping amazing. I've bought so many boxes of that. I got dimed out. The wife actually caught me. She's like, came down to the bar and looked, and like I use things I've had or things I like as decor, and I have boxes upon boxes of Oliva V Melania. She's like, how much are those? And I was like, you crochet, I drink bourbon and smoke cigars. Let's just leave it at that. So she's like, I'm pretty sure that there's a disparity between what I spend and what you spend. I was like, I don't know. It's about the same, I think. She's such a gamer. The Promesa and the La Bijou. Man, I'm telling you what, there's a good chance I'm going to do at least a little bit of that, Tony. I'm going to mix those two. I'm telling you what, that A121, do a 1-to-1, just do a little pour. Just do a little pour of each 1-to-1 of that A121 and the toasted barrel. It's fucking good. It's like really good. It's like an octane toasted barrel. I'm like sitting here like, man, I'm really contemplating blending like a 375 of it. I don't think I'd do a 375. I'd probably just do a decent size. So are any of you game? Dustin, do you smoke cigars? Sweet baby Jesus, you better be telling me you smoke cigars or I'm going to drive to Cincinnati and freaking, you don't want me to come to Cincinnati if I have to like make you smoke a cigar. I'll tell you what, it's hard because things have changed over the years as far as like the best bang for the buck. There are some best bang for the buck cigars out there that you can get at a really good price, but I would encourage you, if you're trying to get a daily smoker, go to JR Cigars, sign up, it's free. Their auction site, you can find some incredible deals on their auction site. I literally got 100 Padilla pigtails for I think like $20. If no one's bidding, you can find some amazing deals, and they usually carry a lot of stuff. Well, we got to fix that, Dustin. There is nothing better with a good bourbon or whiskey than a good cigar done right. And that doesn't mean you have to sit there and be like a freight train, right? One cigar a week. Yeah, listen, I've never had a problem ever, Tito, with JR Cigars auction site. The problem is that you end up being like hours watching it. You're like, oh, yep. Next thing you know, yes, I got 500 cigars, but I also spent $500. I could have bought like $500 worth of bourbon, or at least 2 really good bourbons. Yeah, let it sit and marry, Tony. I think that's the thing, right? You had to let it sit, but that actually is it's really good. Yeah, I'll tell you this, right? So, talking just straight, Dustin, what are the things? What's up, Clint Hickey? It's about time you jump on here, dude. We are actually in the middle of a pairing where we blended. I got done doing a Garrison Brothers blind flight, and right now we're drinking on. I blended Elijah Craig Barrel Proof A118 with Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. And it is a freaking bomb. It is amazing. But Dustin, I think the thing that's so the cool thing about it, right, is when you're on a good cigar, like, and you have to find a good cigar. Oh yeah, have I ever had 20 likes? I don't think I've ever even had 20 likes. Yeah, so if you have an opportunity to hit the like button, hit the like button. I appreciate it. But if you don't, hey, I get it. Shit happens. Dustin, I think the thing that's unique about it, right? So the flavor profile with a cigar and a flavor profile with whiskey. You get a cigar that you like. If you're not a big cigar smoker, start with a good Connecticut leaf wrapper. I would say Ashton. A really good Ashton would do you justice. Making sure that it looks more like a vanilla colored wrapper. That's a Connecticut leaf. And have that. It's going to be buttery. It's going to be like vanilla-y. It's going to have all these like weird white notes. And have that with your, but you don't have your whiskey until you have a little, maybe like a little bit of heat, a little ashy, like you've had a couple drags over time. Your palate feels like it's a little dry. So you're going to have this like ashy note. As soon as you hit that bourbon with it, the barrel, the sweetness, the corn, all that kind of stuff meshes together with that ash, and it becomes this freaking just flavor bomb. It's so good. I mean, like amazingly good. But at the same token, the one thing that if you have a solid buzz and you want to kill your buzz, cigars will make you like chill out quite a bit. Thanks, Tito. And it's hard, right? I never get really too perplexed about likes and that stuff, because if you come in on your cell phone, I've never even been able to find on my cell phone how to like something. My cell phone doesn't ever do it. I've looked at every option I can do. I've never seen a place where I could like it on my cell phone. Woohoo, 20 likes. That is really good. I highly recommend doing a 1-for-1 with your Elijah Craig barrel proof and your Elijah Craig toasted barrel. Was that the first time? So for you guys that don't know, Clint Hickey is local. He found me through Bourbon, and he said Saturday was the first time with a whiskey and a cigar, and it was awesome. He had that on the back deck here with me at the battalion headquarters. He asked if we could get together and go through and learn some stuff and taste some stuff. And Clint, I'm glad you liked it, dude. I had no idea that you'd never done that. So I probably would have started you on a little different wrapper, but you know what? At the same time, I knew to pair what we paired with it. So now that's awesome. Dude, I'm so happy that was the first time, and you know how to get a hold of me and all that kind of stuff. We do a lot of weird things and the Patreons, we do battalion hangouts, we do smoke and joke sessions, we actually do HQ stuff. Anytime anybody's a Patreon member that's in the area coming through and they want to come and hang out at battalion HQ, you're always allowed. That's always a thing. So I look forward to helping you explore this palette and learn your palette better. So yeah, anytime you want to hook up, just let me know. I know that here before too long, I will eventually go to the back deck and have a cigar. But if no one leaves and I stay here, there's probably a good chance I'll probably have a cigar like right here and hope that the wife doesn't notice. And if she does, I'll be like, it was Daniel's fault. The problem is that I'm like a heavy Maduro guy, and it is like a flavor smell bomb. So I actually have a meeting in the morning with my lawyer to go through and get my LLC and get all the Bourbon Battalion stuff squared away, right? So growing the business, the channel is just like a cool thing that I really like. I like meeting everybody, spending time, helping people to explore with an honest palate and an honest thought process to how to go about figuring out how do you understand and know your palate, and tasting notes and giving just honest reviews on stuff. I love that. I love having a fireside hangout. I love just jumping on and doing that kind of stuff. Dustin, did you blend that? I think Dustin did. He just said smell bomb. And I'm telling you what, the Elijah Craig barrel proof and the toasted barrel is a freaking bomb. It's literally like, yeah, I hope he said smell bomb was because he blended that. It's really good. I'm going to do it again. It's so good. Oops, sorry. Sorry if that was loud on your ears. I apologize. I hit my bottle opener down here. So these are the two that I'm blending. So I have the Elijah Craig toasted barrel, and I have the Elijah Craig small batch barrel proof, and that is A118 at 130.6. So a 94 and 130.6. Oh, listen, a good cigar can be. It can definitely be a great bomb. I'm just glad I made you laugh. You don't laugh nearly enough. You should laugh more. Yeah, I think that's the thing you have to do, right? Thanks, Clint. I appreciate it. I just got to, it sounds like I just need to make sure I look at the volume. And it could have been more about the idea of understanding what I'm actually doing. When I listened to the volume on it, and originally we had it, it was much louder. And then we were like, do we really want it to be that loud? Because I didn't really care too much about it. It's just kind of like a background. I really wanted just like this background kind of military-ish music that wouldn't be copyrighted. And someone would be like, oh, that's trademarked or whatever. So, but the overall video, I liked the video. I actually had it done by a guy here that's a local guy that also is a lead singer of a band. And he does that as a side gig. So he's been here at the house and went through and did tastings and stuff. So I'm actually going to double pour this. So I might even triple pour it. So all right. Got a little froth. Oh, that is something else. Bardstown. Yeah, Dustin, I'd like to know what's your thoughts on that. Wish I had more bottles. I have Bardstown Fusion Series 1 and 3. They're the only ones I have, though. I do have Bardstown Collaboration. You have samples of 3 and 4. Yeah, I have. So I have 1 and 3, and I have. I probably have at least a half a bottle of each. Yeah, Discovery 3 is nice. I felt like I could just drink it. Hey, Dustin, I'm kind of curious. Have you ever took a bourbon and pour it deep or double pour it? Yeah, now I have the Fusion series. I have not had the Discovery series just because I haven't ran into it. But I will be exploring when I go down. Dustin, is there any chance you're going down to the whiskey stuff in September? And down in Bardstown? Double poured. So double poured is nothing more than taking your bourbon, right? Or most of the time it happens with a wine, right? It really is a wine thing, but it does the same thing in the whiskey world as it does in the wine world, right? A double pour is nothing more than like pouring it deep, right? You pour it like this and then you pour it back. And what it does is it helps aerate it. It like pours deep down. The higher you do it, the more it goes down and it pushes air up. So it helps it to breathe. It's kind of like a breathing process. And it helps it to marry. It also helps it to open up. So it's kind of like advancing this weird thing towards trying to aerate it. How do I aerate wine? You do the same thing with aeration as far as like whiskey, right? If I want to aerate it, we typically do it in the whiskey bourbon world with a decanter, right? But the thing is, we're not pouring it deep and we're pushing the oxygen, it goes down and pushes up, right? So Tony's right on it. Aeration is like a big thing, right? Yeah, so decanting, you've done that. This is a way to decant faster to figure out what it will be if it decants. That's all it is. It's a way of getting it to open up faster without it just sitting. So that's all it is. But if you want to take something that's like, wow, I really want to know what this is going to be like. Instead of waiting 30 minutes to see what it'll be like in 30 minutes, you can just double pour it deep. And deep is nothing more than this, right? Deep means I want to pour it so that when it comes down, it gets frothy. See how you see it froth up at the top? You get all that air into it. That opens it up. So then what you would do is just pour it back in. Right? And that's what that's a poured deep double pour. It's just that. It's way more aggressive swirl, which is common to wine. I don't think it matters as much as bourbon. Bourbon is more about like I swirl it for the legs. I want to look at the complexity. I want to understand the viscosity, what's it going to be on a finish. But double pouring opens it up. And pour it deep. Let it be a big stream. all the way down. It makes this air push back up and it opens it up a little bit. It helps you kind of understand what it will be down the road. So yeah, Tony, you're right on point. And that is flipping amazing. That's really good. Tony, what's your thought on that blend? I know you were talking about it earlier. Yeah, I don't usually either, Dustin. I don't make a trip to Louisville all the time. I do like going down there. Don't get me wrong. I love going to the Whiskey Kitchen. I like going to Lexington to OBC Kitchen. But I do want to go down for the annual the whiskey event down in Bardstown. So I've already got my tickets and all that kind of stuff. The wife says she wants to go. I'm kind of surprised. I don't think she really will. Yeah, it's pretty freaking good. So we'll see if she goes. If not, if she decides not to go, I have an extra ticket. So my thought was I have like a 2-day ticket and there's a day in the middle that was going to be just my day of hunting. Yeah, I would agree. But it's nice. It's really nice. Every time I think the chat's going down, it goes back up. So I'm game. I'm not going anywhere. I'm enjoying just chatting about some of this stuff. Yeah, so if anybody ever ends up going up and through the Ashland area, all you got to do is reach out to me. It's real simple. bourbonbattalion@gmail. Goes right to my phone. You can always reach out to me. I'm not too far off the interstate. So as long as I'm home, I'm game for whatever. Oh, definitely. Mr. Adam motherfucking Whiskey Shits is on here. What's up, Adam? We are just jamming on blending Elijah Craig Barrel Proof with Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. And it is quite delicious. It's really good. Hey, Adam, are you guys doing a pub, or what are you doing? Is it a pub style tonight, or is it just you guys and Nick? Hanging out with Nick. You got your Obtenium Polish rye from Adam or from Daniel? I swear to God. Well, Daniel got it from Adam. That's okay. I have it on the way. Adam, are you going to do pub style, or are you just you and Mike hanging out with just Nick? Yeah, Dano deserves good shit. That's for sure. Yeah, so I sent that blend to Dusty Dan, and he got a hold of me as soon as he got it, and he was just like, "Did you try? You're doing pub style, all right?" So he asked me, he's like, "Did you try this Old Forester you sent me?" I said, "Well, of course I did. I mean, I literally smoked it and aged it for like 2.5 months." He said, "If you bottled that, I would buy that." And I was like, "Yeah, me too. I would buy it too." It was really good. So when are you guys going on? Are you guys going on right after the mash and drum, or are you going on at a certain time? Is Dustin still in here? Mixture small batch. What's up, Marty? Why'd you jump back in here, brother? We're just hanging out. We're doing like some weird blend stuff, right? So I have Tony Two Toes like in the middle of a blend session. Mixture small batch. You finished paying the bills. Oh yeah, you definitely need to drink then. I literally went the other day to get my taxes done, and I walked in. I was like, "Oh, can I bring in bourbon?" And she was like, "No, but if you wanted to, I wouldn't be upset with it." Yeah, let's just all send our bills to Marty and let him take care of that stuff. What's up? I have no business at all after last night jumping on later, but Adam, there's no way I can't jump on. As long as you're doing a pub style, we'll see. You're broke now. Gonna have to start selling bourbon, right? I sold bourbon to go on vacation. Tony, I agree. I think it would be great in a decanter. Throw that in a decanter and just let it sit. So actually, yes, right? So if you go through, Daniel, you brought up a good question. With a business setup for a whiskey tube, can you guys write off your whiskey purchases? Actually, yes. I don't know how many people have actually done this, right? The reason why I'm setting up LLC is because I've had a lot of people ask me to do tastings. And with going through and doing tastings and teaching people, I felt as though it was something I needed to really pursue. So once I have that set up and I have my EIN and all that kind of stuff set up in my own account that was set up for my business, it will all be anything that I happen to do for Bourbon Battalion will be part of the business, right? It'll be expensible. So yeah, you're still paying, right? You're just going to be able to write it off. So you're going to take loss. You just got to, the first couple of years, you got to make sure that your loss and your profits and all that stuff they are where they are, right? So this is new to me, but it's one of those things that it really started this weird thing where I didn't expect to ever have anything more than a YouTube channel. And I didn't get LLC status and do that because of the YouTube channel. It's what happened because of it. Like doing tastings and doing business tastings and corporate tastings and private tastings. you're pumping out so much money that you kind of have to. Dude, you're not wrong. I mean, I literally spend a lot of money. You do. Listen, we talk all the time, right? The people in here that like spend money on whiskey, we spend a lot of money on whiskey. There's no doubt about it. I literally went on vacation at spring break with my wife because I sold 4 bottles. Just 4. I sold 4 and did a vacation. I do the LLC, right, Dustin? I had to go to an LLC because I have a bunch of events that I've been booked for this upcoming summer. And I just wanted to be covered on the idea that if someone was to leave an event and put themselves in a situation, that I would be covered. So that's the only reason. I just needed some kind of liability to help me if someone was to leave and unfortunately have something bad happen. But I would be interested to talk to you one-on-one about all the shit I've done in the bill, all the receipts I have for all the shit I've done over the years. I literally redid my entire basement. I wish I would have known how to write that off because my entire basement, I have a huge bar. I have so many things I bought for this that was just for bourbon battalion. So you have my number. You know how to get a hold of me. If you have insight to something, let me know. I'm not a business guy. I'm an engineer. So I just make shit work. Yeah, I think that was the thing that when I went to do it, I didn't have the right, like I was just on an iPhone. I didn't know what I was doing and that stuff. But I got my setup right. Well, not in the beginning, right? I didn't have this behind me. I just had like a mirror. I had like weird stuff, but absolutely. So you don't have to have a liquor license. Now, I can tell you this. No, you don't have to have a liquor license. If you have a company, and listen, I can tell you my state in Ohio, I don't have to have a liquor license if I give it away. If it's part of an experience. So I don't have to have a liquor license to do bourbon battalion whiskey tasting experience because no one's buying liquor. They're buying the experience. The experience comes with it. The liquor comes with the experience. So it is still part of. Yeah, but you know what? I've been through this and talked to my accountant and my attorneys, and so if you know something I don't know, then let me know before I do this because I know for a fact that I do not have to have a liquor license to do it. If they're buying it, if they're purchasing it, yes. If they're purchasing alcohol, you must have a liquor license if you're profiting from it. I am using the liquor, but I'm not selling it. That's like the weird loophole in Ohio, right? I'm not selling it. Liquor is part of the experience. They're buying an experience. Yes, I agree with that. If Daniel if it's not part of that, then yes, I agree completely with what Dustin said. But what you could do with your catering, right, is to say that you can have a catering business that has a whiskey experience. And in that they can purchase an experience, and in that experience they get a flight, an exploratory flight. They're not paying for the whiskey, they're paying for the experience. But if you're getting them liquored up, you still want an LLC because you want to have some kind of liability if they go out and get themselves like in some kind of predicament and come back on you. So could I go back and retrospectively do that, Dustin? I mean, I probably will just have to eat it for now because I don't know that I kept that many receipts. I have the entire receipts of everything I have built, like my bar, everything that's in display that's part of my overall stuff. But my Bourbon Battalion channel never had any kind of like a business model other than it was just the thing I wanted. Dustin, we need to talk. I've got questions. I need to pick your brain. And I need to like talk to my accountant again. I have a great accountant. She just doesn't know. These are probably things I need to say to her that I haven't said because I didn't know any better. Well, I know what I'm doing going forward. Like right now, I'm in this like limbo stage where I really want to buy stuff. And I have people that want me to buy it and I want to buy it. They've literally picked up stuff. And my accountant told me, do not do anything until you have your LLC and EIN so that we can start putting it back towards the business. So I'm like, oh, so I feel like a heel because people have bought stuff, but I've been told to wait. So I'm like, ugh. All right. Well, I'm good. I mean, it's not like I have tons. So I will say though, it's 9:58. I will go till 10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, I will cut the broadcast. I will stay on here, but I'll cut the live because I don't want it to go longer than 2.5 hours or no one will ever watch it. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Like I literally will have whatever my accountant says. I'm pretty okay with that. Yeah, no, I have an accountant for those kind of things, and she's amazing. Been doing it for like 1,600 million thousand years. So, but I'm perfectly okay. Literally, when I end this live stream in a minute, I'm going to stay on. I just want to end the broadcast. And then I have to go through and do like, I have so many reviews. I've just been so far behind on reviews. I think I have like 20 reviews. I'm like, with this new job, I mean, I'm in the same company, but a new job. It's just a different getting used to it. So, well, I appreciate everybody being on. So the barrel proof Garrison Brothers won tonight. Next week, we'll talk about the overall shootout between the three winners. After that, we will go into the battalion hump. And once we do the battalion hump, we'll be doing giveaways. You'll have an opportunity to enter. For every $5 enter, your name gets put in there in sequence. So if you did 20, you'd be like number 5, 6, 7, and 8. We'll go through, and each show we'll pick a winner. And at the end of the battalion hump, each winner will get a sample of every Booker's I have. So, having said that, cheers, everybody. Be good to those that take care of you. Take time to say hello to those people that are around you. And know that you're loved. Cheers, guys.